it just seemed like you didn't even want to try. It wasn't that like you're not all in it. It was just like you want it as bad as me. And that's why I was like, let's just break up Small Town Hollywood. Welcome to Broken Famous, the #1 podcast by influencers for influencers. We're your host,
Bryce ProtoJ.
And I'm Small Town Hollywood. Bryce, so what are we getting into today? What are we doing? What are we doing on this podcast, bro?
Yo, immediately.
I'm sorry. I've never done a podcast before. I feel like this is how all podcasters talk. What are we getting bro, what did we get into?
It's that first episode vibes of how do we talk on a podcast?
Yeah, we figured out. We did like 3 practices before this, but whatever. Why am I crying right now?
It's a little emotional.
It's a little emotional. My eyes are like watery.
We'll get into why it's emotional later on about a little bit of a reunion happening right now, but
yeah, bro. Oh yeah, we have a lot to talk about. Yikers! I'm gonna cry a little bit later. I think. No, maybe we should just quit this podcast right here before we have to get into the hard part.
Stop it. Yeah. So, if you haven't listened to our intro, this podcast is called Broken Famous.
Yes, sir.
We wanted to start it because we feel like a lot of influencers out there are famous, but they're kind of broke.
They are.
And we want to help influencers make money. So throughout the podcast, we want to bring on other influencers, talk about how they blew up, how they monetize their platform, how to make money as an influencer, how to pick the right manager, how to navigate brand deals, all the things. But for episode 1, the influencer that we're interviewing is actually Mr. Small Town Hollywood himself, sitting right here. Welcome to the pod, Small Town Hollywood.
Hey, thank you so much.
And co-host.
You have a great house here. It's very beautiful. I love your sign up there.
It's a very makeshift setup we got here in Small Town Hollywood's basement, but we love it. We love the broken down. We love the broke vibes.
The broken famous vibes. We'll see if I'm broken famous or if I'm... No, let's be honest.
You nervous right now?
I am nervous.
I'm a little nervous. It got way too official.
Yeah.
When we started recording. Guys, this is our first episode. Feels way too official right now.
Yeah,
we gotta shake it off.
Your voice is so much higher than usual, Bryce.
I told you not to say that when we started recording.
Bryce is shaking and peeing himself.
All right, Mr. Small Town Hollywood, let's get into it.
All right, sir. Shoot. Ask me some questions. Go ahead.
Who is Small Town Hollywood?
Well, Small Town Hollywood is this guy named Jarek
Elrond. Peter Elrond.
I usually try to keep my name out of... I guess we can leak my name. Who cares? I feel like people that are like avid followers of me know my name. But yeah, it's me. It's just me. It used to be 2 people. Hint at the guy sitting across from me.
2 people. Small Town Hollywood.
What?
Small Town,
Hollywood.
One guy. That was just you.
No, it's just me now. But yeah, I have a music account on TikTok. I do mashups. I do remixes. I do like producer challenges. I do just challenges in general. A lot of people might know me for those reverse hits I do. Some people hate them. Some people love them. Biggest thing I do is mashups. So kind of known as the mashup guy, I guess.
What are some of your... What would be the most viral mashup that people would know?
Oh, bro.
Maybe top 3.
Top 3. I'll do the number 3 is probably... I did one a long time ago that kind of like started the mashups and like coined the term like mashup with Small Town Hollywood. But it was with Holly Grace, Nurse Holly. She's no longer on TikTok, but she sang and it was like this. The songs were a Lil Nas X song, Old Town Road. There is some other song that Holly sang, and then one that Bryce sang. Actually, he was on it. Second most popular was another one with Bryce. Actually,
what's your most popular one?
A year ago, and then the most popular one at a stammering 40 million views and 6.1 million likes at the time this podcast is out or being recorded. Is with Bryce ProtoJ.
Oh, what a loaded question. But those are some great mashups
there. Yeah, bro. That one's insane. I'm still getting followers and views from that too. But yeah, that one reboosted my entire account. I feel like, not that I was like having any problems, but
yeah, you're at what, 2.7 million?
2.7, about to hit 2.8.
Dang.
Once we hit that 3 milli, that's when things get real, bro.
Gotta do something. Gotta celebrate every time we hit a milli.
Bro, absolutely. Never celebrated with 2 million. But, well, no, this will be the celebration. Let's put it up on the screen. 2 million. And I'll put a little explosion. We have an intern that's going to be doing all
celebrate
this
2
stuff.
million is what you're
Yeah,
saying?
right now.
All right.
All right,
Everybody.
cheers. Let's just do it right now. 2 million, baby. To our sponsor that's not sponsoring us.
All right, so the mashups were a big smash. People probably know you from the mashups. Talked about the reverse hits a little bit. How did you come up with those concepts? How do you come up with a viral concept in general?
I think a lot of it just is scrolling on TikTok, seeing what's working for other people, and then kind of applying that to your specific niche. Like mine has always been music. So I saw, for example, I did this thing called 2 Second Song, and that blew up so much to the point where like I think I gained like 400,000 followers in like 2 or 3 days, and I got a chance to go out to LA because of it and like work with like Montana Tucker, and she did a duet for the 2 Second Song. But that literally came from me scrolling on TikTok, and I saw some kid sitting down, and he was like, "Put this in," or no, put this in reverse. He's like, "This is a 2 second video. This is a 2 second video. This is a 2 second video," and then it cuts, and the people who like stayed, he's like, "This isn't a 2 second video. Share this with your friends to see if they actually watch the video." I'm like, okay, that's early enough where it's like blowing up. I should do that, but like, how can I make it my own and like put my own twist on it? So I was like, let's do a song. So I was like, this is a 2 second song. This is a 2 second song. This is a 2 second song. And then people who like listen through all the way at the end, it like, I just sing about how like, oh, put this, like send this to somebody. And if they listen to all the way to the end, that means that they actually watch your stuff. If not, then, but it's like that call to action of send this to a friend right now. And people watch it all the way through. So it's getting rewatch time. And then people are going through comments to see like what other people are saying about it. So it like blew up. It hit like 29 million, 30 million views and got like 2.8 million likes. It was crazy.
So the 2 second songs were massive. Talk a little bit more about the strategy as far as you said algorithmically, like the watch time was super important, but what else goes into a viral clip? You said
I think the
comments,
big ones,
engagement, but what else?
dude, the biggest one is saved videos.
Okay.
Because it's just making it look like people are sharing your video like a bunch. So like those reverse hits, for example, that hits like every single like algorithm indicator. It's like I do these things called like put this reverse and tell me what you hear, and I like sing it, and it's like all like jumbled up. It's like or whatever. But it makes people like they're curious and they want to hear what song it is. So they go to Snapchat or they go to CapCut, and there's like a little button on it. It says share. So people share it to Snapchat, put it in reverse, and then they know what video it is. So they go back on the comments, they comment what they heard in reverse. And then for the people who don't want to do it, they're just looking through the comments trying to see what song it is. And then when they see what song it is, they even want to be like, actually, I want to know what song this is. So they put it in reverse too, and then come back and comment. And then the whole time that people are commenting and looking through the comments is rewatch, like there's rewatch time. And it's only 9 seconds, I think, because anything over 10 seconds, you can't reverse it on Snapchat. So it's like 9 seconds being looped like 10 times in a row. So it's like hitting literally everything possible for like it to blow up. It's kind of like a cheat code, especially on Instagram. It's like guaranteed million views every single time.
Right. Yeah, you mentioned, I mean, I did a little research on the old Small Town Hollywood before we got on the pod, but another one of the viral things that you do is, what would you title it? It's when you freeze something on the screen.
Oh, pause it challenges.
Yeah.
I think.
So we were talking earlier, we were talking off pod, just kind of how, your music intertwines with influencing and doing TikTok. But talk again about how the posits helped you with your music.
Yeah. It kind of like does this like, it's almost like a fake way to like make the algorithm think that you're artificially blowing up when it's just like people are using your video a bunch because they're like doing the challenge. And the challenge is like, there's like a little square above my head.
We'll throw it up on the screen.
Yeah, right here. There's a little square above my head, and there's a like an object or like something from the image that is flying past the screen, and you have to pause it perfectly. And if you pause it, I say I have to Venmo you like $20 or something like that.
Have you ever Venmo'd?
I have Venmo'd
Did you actually?
Because I don't want to be like a liar.
Yeah.
But I have Venmo'd a few. I'm not going to Venmo everyone because that would be like $1 million for a video, and I'm not making that much money. But Yeah. So that, I mean, people duet it. So I say duet it to prove it. And people like duet it. Sometimes it's like a little bit off. Sometimes it's right on. But there's like 200 videos like minimum every time of people just like pausing it and trying to prove it. And then I'll do another one of the same exact song, but a different like photo or what, a different like pause it challenge. And that will add even more. And I've noticed I've been scrolling through and I see like, since it's like looks like it's trending from all these people making videos, there's like people doing little trends of them like lip syncing to my song or dancing to my song or doing some kind of like new trend to it outside of the pause it perfectly challenge. But I do need to get better at like capitalizing on the like engagement that I'm getting on it. Because once I see all those videos blowing up, I need to like start pushing it outside of the challenge.
Right. Have you? So when you do a post like that to try to get some song uses on the audio on TikTok, have you noticed? I mean, 2,000 videos is still a good amount, but have you noticed any increase in streams when you do a post like that? Does it correlate directly to Spotify streams?
I think it's like kind of half and half. It depends on, I think, the trend. So from the videos that are like have a trend to it, people dancing, I think people go and convert from that like easier. And it also depends on like the pause it challenges, how much they like blow up and how consistently I'm doing it. But it'll be a spike of like 200 more streams that day. And the thing is, I'm only posting like one of those like a month just because I was testing it out. So if I'm doing this like 3-4 times a week for just the posits, and then I have like other videos of like little music videos on TikTok shot like horizontal for my for my song, just promotion, like I think that would be some serious streaming. Because I think for my song Werewolf, I like just did a bunch of videos of like, I did one of like dogs like running around and doing
that
of dogs like, I don't know, being goofy and just funny videos. And I put the Werewolf song and then I captioned it something about like post some videos of your little werewolf or something like that. And it was getting like, it averaged like an extra 600 streams a day. And that's on top of me like on these Spotify editorial playlists. So TikTok is super powerful, but you need to be super, super, super consistent if you're trying to promote your stuff. But because recognition is the biggest thing. I feel like people just want to see something over and over and over. They don't even know they want it, but once they see you, they feel like they know you and they want to like explore you a little bit.
Right. Yeah. I mean, even just the pauses too, like they're trying to pause something. So they're listening to the song over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. The psychology behind that is kind of genius because I bet after they're done doing it, the song's in their head, you know? And then they might go to Spotify and actually
if they don't listen
to the song.
If I can like, because I mean, odds are like if they're spending that much time on my video, another one of my videos are going to pop up on the view page.
Yeah.
So if I have that song in their head, they scroll, even if it's like the next day and they see another pause it, or they see like the werewolf like dog video, or me just singing werewolf in like a promotional video, I think they're going to be like, oh, I've heard this song. You know what? I was singing it the other day and I didn't even know it. I was in the shower and I was singing that song. Let's just click on it. And then if they just add it to my playlist, that's so huge. Or to their playlist. It's huge. Huge.
So you got the virality down. And I think a lot of influencers on TikTok have probably experienced going viral a couple times. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of people, it's not necessarily easy to go viral on TikTok, but it's not hard. You know, I think if you put content out consistently, anyone can go viral. Maybe they'll have like one viral video. You've consistently figured out viral videos. And
every time I figure it out, it goes away.
Right.
Other people realize it and it just kind of like gets oversaturated.
So I mean, that's just the beautiful part about TikTok is the viral component. But where a lot of people struggle is around monetization. Like, what do you do with those views? What do you do with your following once you've gone? And I think a lot of people blow up on TikTok not expecting to be an influencer, but what has the monetization process been like for you to actually make Small Town Hollywood a career?
It's been very difficult. It's not something where like, I think a lot of people see like a big number, like a big follower count. They're like, this guy's making so much money. Not true. I know people with like 4 or 5 million followers that are making like no money at all because they're only on TikTok, and TikTok does not pay well at all. There's the creator fund, which a lot of people probably listening know about.
Don't sign up for it.
Yeah, don't sign up for that. If you have a rep, the rep is gonna be like, oh, it does not stunt your growth. It does not like, I don't know, shadow ban you or whatever. But from my circumstance, because Bryce was actually the one who told me to like get out of the creator fund, because I was shadow banned for like whatever shadow ban means. But I was just all my engagement was so low for like a year. It all started after I joined the creator fund. It wasn't like so low to the point where I was like I couldn't be a TikToker like influencer anymore, but way, way, way lower than what it used to be. And then the moment that I talk to you and you're like, you need to get out of there, because like there's a cap to amount of like, there's like a pool of how much money they have to like give influencers on there. And once they get close to that cap, they're going to start suppressing content. I left it. The second I left it, literally maybe like the next 2 days after that, two of my mashups I posted like a month earlier just started randomly blowing up like crazy, like an extra million likes, 10 million views, crazy. And then another mashup, I wasn't even posting. I think I was on vacation or doing something. And all this stuff started pushing it, like getting pushed out. Even our mashup that we did like a year previous to me leaving the creator fund, that started blowing up as well. Then I did another mashup with Kings, and that blew up, and it hit like, I don't know, close to like 10 million views, 1.8 million likes. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not joining this.
Yeah, let me just explain the creator fund and how it differs from monetization on platforms like YouTube, I guess. But so YouTube will run ads on your video versus TikTok, they run them in feed. So they don't necessarily run it on your video, they'll run it before your video, but it'll be its own post. And you can swipe up and down on it, right? So for the creator fund, TikTok's paying you based on how many views you get out of their own pocket, versus AdSense is going to pay you how many views you get on YouTube. TikTok's not like that. They have their own fund just for paying creators. It's not coming from ads. I mean, how they allocate their funds, it could be from ad revenue sources, but it's not directly from AdSense like it would be on YouTube. So it doesn't make any sense for them to pay you more money than they have to. So why would they push your video out to get 100 million views if they know they're gonna have to pay you more money? It just doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
And from the beginning, I think it started with Spotlight on Snapchat. Spotlight
You should go back to how much they're paying you real quick before you get in Spotlight on TikTok. It's 3 to 4 cents.
3 or 4 cents for what?
For 1,000 views. So $30 is like a million views. A million views is $30. So 10 million views is like $300. That's not worth it at all.
Yo, and so CPMs on YouTube, it depends what niche you're in, and it's definitely changed as the ad space has changed and developed. But on YouTube, depending on the niche, you can make $3,000 to $4,000 per million views.
Oh my god!
That's not even comparable. But I think TikTok initially did this just because Spotlight on Snapchat, and people probably don't even know what Spotlight is, but they were paying out $1 million a day to creators.
Dude,
so it's kind of just a buzz thing for people that move to Spotlight. But TikTok had to be competitive because at that point, they weren't paying creators yet. When did the creator fund come out? 2020?
Yeah, early 2020.
Yeah, so it's kind of their version of like, hey, creators are going to pay you a little bit of money for putting your content out. But it just doesn't make sense why they would want to push your content out more than if they're going to have to pay you for it. So get the exposure over getting the money. Like if you can get 1 million, 2 million views consistently for a brand deal, depending on your niche, you can easily...
You're sacrificing brand deals for all this.
For 1 million views on TikTok now in 2022, if that's your consistent rate, like you're easily getting 10 to 20K per promotional post. Like 100K views consistently, you can get 5K easily. So I mean, 1 million, you probably get way more than 10, 20K.
Depending on your niche, but...
You're going to want to go for engagement over joining the creator fund at this point on TikTok, because the brands that are marketing on TikTok, depending on your niche, there's a lot of money on there. So it's not worth the $30, $40 for 1 million views in the creator fund anymore.
Yeah.
But I thought that was important to talk about. But so creator fund's one part of monetization. How else? I mean, when was your first dollar on TikTok? Do you remember?
Ooh.
You can talk about two different revenue sources.
Yeah.
But
I think the first dollar that was ever went to my account from Small Town Hollywood was way back, and it was from Songfluencer. Actually, you were part of it. Our Tesla.
That's
video.
right.
It was $100, and I think this is when we had over 1 million too, which is like, I mean, it was good. We didn't know. No, we had no idea what to charge for anything.
You can speak on it, but we were very early to TikTok.
We were guinea pigs,
no one was
dude.
on it.
Literally, we were the ones that were setting the tone for what like prices looked like. And our TikTok manager, shout out to Stefan. I don't know where he's at. I think he's at Patreon right now. But he told me, there was a call. He asked me it's like, how much you usually charge per brand deal. And this is when I had 1.5 million. And I was like, like $200, $300. And he just went quiet. He's like, Jarek, you need to be charging no less than 1,000, because every time you accept lower than 1,000, the pool of how much influencers can charge goes down. Because they're like, this influencer charged this much. Let's just go with this other influencer. And they like, brands are so good at gaslighting you too if you don't know enough. So like, we're here to help you. We're here, like, this is what this podcast is for.
Yeah, maybe we do a whole podcast just on monetization. I think that'd be super informational. But yeah, kids are still getting scammed, and they're so fresh. They don't know anything about the space. So I don't blame them. But honestly, like, yeah, I've been on both sides. We'll talk about that in a different pod, but yeah, it's pretty. But this is like your business, so you get to decide what your rate is. There's no one else that is like you that is you. So if they want you specifically, they have to go with your rate. And I mean, it depends on how bad you need the money, but like you can lower it a little bit. But definitely, like the honorarium should be $1,000 per million views. And then if you're doing more stuff, like you're writing a song or something, it needs to be licensed, blah blah blah. Then that's when you can like up the amount more. Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, I don't know if you meant 1 million views or 1 million followers. If you have 1 million followers,
so I said
yeah, you should for sure get 1K
followers.
1 million, if you're hitting 1 million views, you know how much money you're making. But 100,000 views again, 5 to 6K per video. 1 million views, if that's your consistent thing, like 10, 20, 30, 40, sky's kind of the limit.
Yeah,
that's an insane amount of views.
But even it shouldn't be based on views, because views go up and down based on like how much you're posting. Because I've posted literally like I've skipped like 2 weeks to a month, and my engagement has dropped down, and then I just dive back in, and all my videos blow up again. Because like when we had our mashup that like went crazy viral, 40 million views and like 6 million likes, all my other videos blew up, and even the brand deals blew up. So that's why brands bullying you into like, oh, your engagement's low right now, you should accept. Like it should be $200. No, it's going on your account that has 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, who knows how many followers. It's like a television show. People are going to keep watching it. So why are you accepting like $300 for like something that has access to 6 million people? Blah, blah, blah.
What you just said too is super important to communicate to brands. Hey, I have viral posts every so often. And after that happens, the brand post is going to get an additional 100, 200K views. Factor that in. I factor that into my rate. You just tell them that. And that's, you got to counter them with some sort of logic or reason on why you deserve more, but have those talking points or those stats ready so you can negotiate and make more money. Because they will steamroll you.
Bro, yes.
And convince you that you're not worth a penny.
And they're going to want a 7-day engagement look, which no. Send them that, and also send them like a 3-month to show like, hey, this is how engagement looks. Because I mean, I'm human. I take breaks. So like, hey, when I'm consistent for like 4 or 5 days at a time, my engagement goes wild. And that's when it's getting 1 million views per post. Right now it's lower. And when I post this, I'm going to be consistent right after, and it's going to blow up again. So I say charge based on following, not for engagement.
I think it's multifaceted. I think if you have great engagement, you can definitely leverage that.
Yeah.
But if you don't have great engagement, then leverage what your strength is at the time.
I agree with that. 100%, yeah.
But all right, so we kind of just dove into monetization in brand deals. But how else have you figured out monetization? Our first monetization was a song promotion. Do you remember your first brand deal?
Like big brand deal? It was, oh man, it was a good one. It was LG Mobile, and they paid me very, very well. It was around $4,000 for, I think it was right when I was at 1.5. So whenever you left, it was like a month after.
So early 2020.
Yeah, and it was, all I had to do was like, I forgot what it's called. It's like LG Mobile, like Feel Good Challenge or something, but it was HER. And she like wrote a song, and you're supposed to like kind of riff off of the song and I don't know, put your own like twist on it. And they hired a bunch of influencers. And at the time, and I mean, I'm still big, but like at the time I was like one of the biggest, probably the biggest like music influencer on TikTok. So I did like this Lil Mac Miller rap. It was super good. I really like, I would love to do another one like that. And just like rapped over, and they pushed it, got like 10 million views. And every time you open the app, you saw my face, or you either saw my face. Who's that Michael Jackson kid that like always sings the hee hee stuff?
God, I don't know.
I forgot. I feel like that people would know because
That was a
he
good
would
impression. They'll get it.
yikes. But he was on it. His was pretty good. Kings was on it too, which is cool. And then like Nick Tangora. I think that was it. I think mine was the best personally, and it performed the best as well. But that set the tone. Like me delivering on that and like getting good feedback. The next one I got from my brand rep. When I had a brand rep at the time, that's a whole different story. We'll get into that. Yikes. When I had a brand rep, I think brands would see that, contact my brand rep and be like, hey, we loved this video, this original song. We want to pay Small Town Hollywood to do an original song, a TikTok video, and we want to pay to like push it and everything. So right after I got Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and then after that I got Pizza Hut, and Pizza Hut was my biggest one. And then I got American Eagle, did an original song for that. It was called Frosty, and it was fire. It was a Christmas thing, and money kept going up from there too, because I think I had like a rep that was actually working for me, which was nice. And also, if you have a TikTok rep, you don't have to accept the dollar amount that they're offering you. You can be like, hey, I need another 1,000 for the producer. I think I said that for the American Eagle one, and I paid the producer. They're like, oh yeah, totally, sent it over. You can negotiate. They're not like, just because they're your rep, your manager, doesn't mean that you have to go 100% with what they say, because you're the business. Just because they are giving you the deals, like you're still the boss essentially.
They should be there to negotiate for you.
Yeah, exactly.
They should be more so on your team. And I don't know if they have to get commissions from that. 100%. So why not ask for more? And the worst they say is no. But if you don't ask, you're not going to get anything.
Dude, that's how it was with Chime. That was the last. No, I mean, I did cheesecake. But before that, before my cheesecake deal, I did one with Chime. And that one was awesome too. They ran dark ads though, so you can't see it. But I asked for extra money because I was like, hey, this is like a little bit lower than what I usually get for like LG Mobile or whatever.
Explain dark ads.
Dark ads is essentially when like instead of there being a post, like you can click on, it goes to a post. It's just like an ad that pops up that doesn't lead to anything. That's just like, hey, Chime, here I am. Like, this is brand recognition. And then you scroll past and you can like it and stuff, but it doesn't pop up. There's no like go to like page on TikTok.
It won't go to Chime. Would it go to Chime if you clicked
like
on it?
The website, but there's no.
Okay.
But afterwards, like there's no way to find that right now.
Okay.
Unless I send you the video.
I've also seen, I think, correct me if I'm wrong here, I think that Cheesecake Factory did this. Mm-hmm. I believe it's called whitelisting. They whitelisted your content where they put ad money into the post.
Oh yeah.
To promote it. And so that's another thing. If you guys are monetizing, working with brands, if they whitelist it, that's great for you because you're getting pushed out to, and generally you get a couple, depends how much money they put into it, but you can get millions of views.
If it's a good
new faces seeing your content, followers.
Yeah. If it's a good middleman company that you're working with, they're going to be doing that.
Yeah.
Like it's not, it shouldn't be all on you to rack in all the views for this company. Like, cause I mean, sometimes like shit happens and your post doesn't blow up when you really thought it was going to blow up. It could be because like time, it could be because you've been posting too much, because you're posting too little. You genuinely cannot, like, I think a lot of brands are always like, what is like the guaranteed minimum amount? I'm like, I don't know. I can't guarantee anything, but based off of the last videos, this is how I think it's going to perform. So it's nice when they have a budget set aside. And I've asked that before. I've been like, and send them the code for like, there's a little code you can send ad or send companies, brands that is like essentially allows them to advertise with your video, which they didn't have that when I was doing all these crazy brand deals. But yeah, there should be, you should ask, be like, hey, is there money set aside for like, to push this? And be like, I can't guarantee anything, but like, this is what it's going to look like, and send them your past deals. So.
Yeah, it's a wild
ride.
There's a lot of information or a lack of information, I guess, on monetization. So appreciate you sharing some of that. I hope it gives some kids some insight into making some money. We'll definitely hit that as a full episode. I think there's a lot of different ways you can monetize your following, and I mean, yours is specific to being a musician. I think it's super cool that you've been able to carve out your own niche for brand deals where you can produce and make jingles or songs for them, because then they can promote that and get other influencers to use it. That's great because it's all going to lead back to you and your page for growing and more engagement for you. And other influencers in different niches can't necessarily do that. So that's kind of a fun way that you're unique and niched out in your own space.
Absolutely.
I wanted to ask you, because I think, we kind of just got rolling here on what you're up to now, but kind of brushed over how you got started in small town Hollywood.
Smarted. How you farted in small town? I mean, smarted.
This is a written down question, so I was trying to deliver it perfectly, but didn't happen. This is way too formal. It's Jarek.
Well,
How'd you get
Bryce.
started?
Bartholomew Jacobson.
ProtoJ.
Bro, people are gonna dox me now too. Didn't ask for it.
Maybe we'll blurb that out.
Yeah, we're gonna blur that out. Both of our names.
But how I got started, well, this guy right here was a big part of it. But I was in like DJ groups and other bands and other like stuff from the beginning, like even vlog groups. Shout out the Nashville family, Jason Lacricchio, all those guys. But I've always been in the influencer realm, and I've wanted to be like an influencer. But I don't know, I didn't think I had what took or like was talented enough or whatever. So I like added finance, a finance major. And I remember doing that, and I was in school and doing all this stuff. And I was trying to decide whether I was going to be going to finance or like music business, or if I was going to like really go hard and try to be a musician, a singer, songwriter, influencer, blah, blah, blah. And then I was in this class with this guy, this nerd, bro. It's fucking horrible. Every time I saw his face, I was just like, why am I so angry right now? His name was Bryce
Jacobson.
I think I can say that, right? Bryce. His name was Bryce ProtoJ. But I remember just meeting you, and we were super like-minded. You know what, Bryce? Why don't you let's get into your interview of Small Town Hollywood. Go ahead. What is the Small Town Hollywood origin story? Since you were a part of it from the very, very beginning, which now you guys know he was. Obviously, he was in it.
So this is why at the beginning, like a little bit of reunion.
Yeah, this is a reunion.
Jarek and I's paths have been like this. We started apart here, different states in the U.S. come together in Nashville. Our freshman year, but I guess we transferred to college together, and then we split, kind of did our own thing, came together in Small Town Hollywood, split again, and now we're back together. We're doing a pod together. But yeah, for me, getting into Small Town Hollywood it'd been a long process to get to that point of something actually hitting. Like you said, you've always wanted to be an influencer. You've always wanted to do music. That's always in the back of your head. I've always been curious and paid attention to the space all the way back to MagCom boys, the Camera Dallas, Nash Greer. Always followed them on Vine. I think Vine was probably the biggest missed opportunity that I just watched happen. I watched kids blow up on that platform, like Logan Paul, Jake Paul, and I've continuously watched everyone's career. So, when TikTok happened, we were both ready for that.
Dude,
we had watched and seen other people do it, but at the same time, the past probably decade before that, I've been learning production. I've been learning how to sing. I've always taught myself and learned how to do, video stuff, video editing, lighting, all the things. And Jarek and I were both in Nashville going to school at Belmont together, and it kind of met up, and we were just at the point where we wanted to give music an actual shot. We had done our own individual things. Like I tried doing covers on YouTube. He'd been part of like DJ groups. I worked at a studio. You had internships and other things, other opportunities that you took. And then we finally kind of grouped back up after we had met 2 years previously, I guess, at Belmont. But we grew back up 2 years later with all this new experience that we found in Nashville. And we're just like, yo, let's start something. Let's start another duo. And it's funny. For you, that was like a second duo.
Oh yeah, right after.
Right after like something that didn't necessarily work out. So there's maybe a little hesitation of, we're gonna jump into another duo with someone. And partnerships are hard. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's definitely having two people's different like creative ideas and stuff, and managing, people's different goals and
yeah, but we weren't like raw dogging it, dude. We like worked together in the past a bunch. You recorded vocals for like a lot of the Absent songs that weren't even released, but and doing our covers, our little Instagram covers.
Right. And that was pre
Small Town Hollywood. It's literally instant Jarek and Bryce ProtoJ.
That was that might have been a little bit of a catalyst.
Let's throw this up so people can see it right here.
Well, I'll put that in there. So cringe.
It's not that bad. I
But
thought it was kind of good.
That was for
There's
sure
some good ones.
For sure a catalyst of, all right, we've done some stuff in the past together. It makes sense to come together. So I was living downtown Nashville, had just graduated, and had a roommate who needed to move out, and Jarek needed a place to stay because his lease was up. So we're perfectly. Jarek and I moved into an apartment together downtown Nashville.
It was crazy. Oh my God. That was a blast.
Sick pad. And I don't know what the conversation was of like, yo, let's do this duo, but we decided to do a duo, and we came up with the name Small Town Hollywood. Can't remember if it was you or me, but we would give each other shit about, yo, like, Jarek, you're super Hollywood. And then I think at one time I called you Hollywood or something like that, and you looked at me and you're like, okay, small town. Yeah. And it was like a light bulb moment.
We're like, oh shoot,
Small Town Hollywood. And so we just went for it. But we didn't initially start doing TikTok. TikTok was out at that time. This was, I don't know, May 2019. But we tried to do covers on YouTube from nothing.
Yeah,
we had our own following on Instagram, like 2-3K each, and promoting and getting traction on YouTube back then was super difficult. It's still hard to grow on YouTube, but we had nothing happening, and it was like, how are we going to do this? Small Town Hollywood's cool concept. You can produce. This was the vibe. He can produce the instrumental track. I can produce vocals from our past experience. So we have the skill to do this, but how do we get ourselves out there in social media and like actually grow as musicians? And at the time, we had a friend who had just started doing TikTok, and she was doing, I don't know, the TikTok trends in 2019, the dances, skits. It was a very different place in 2019. So Jarek and I saw her doing this, and she had gotten to like 1 million followers, and fast within a couple of months. It was wild, and I was actually kind of helping her do a little bit of her website stuff and drop merch, which actually helped Small Town Hollywood later on. But
yeah,
she definitely convinced me to be like, yo, TikTok's kind of a vibe. And I don't know, I can't remember if I took convincing with you or not, of being like, yo, TikTok's kind of the place.
It did, bro. Because I mean, it was I thought it was so cringy at the time. And I was in college with a bunch of finance guys that were like, would make fun of my little covers and stuff because they're like, they're just out for the money in the stock market, blah, blah, blah. So like you talking about TikTok, I was like, I mean, I guess let's go for it. But do you remember what the big turning point in our careers was? The video?
So so we get on TikTok.
Okay.
Right? We get on TikTok. We post our first video. And the strategy behind our first video, we were thinking strategy from the beginning. The first video we ever posted was some trending sound on TikTok that we did a cover of. I don't know if you kind of like remixed the instrumental.
Hey, yeah. You saying that?
Yeah.
Come and get your love. That's what it was.
Yeah, come and get your love. We'll throw that one up.
That one is, I thought that was fire.
Yeah. And so we post it. It's like maybe 11 p.m. at night. So we go to bed because we're exhausted. We just essentially produced our first TikTok from start to finish. And we had done this on Instagram before, so we kind of got the vibe. But we were like, all right, let's throw it up and see what happens. And we go to bed. I don't think it had nearly no traction when we posted it, right? And we go to bed. And I wake up in the morning. First thing I do is I check the TikTok, see how it's doing. And I think it had like 40 likes and maybe 400 or 500 views. And as a joke, I mean, that was something. So was I happy with it because I had no expectations? Absolutely. I was happy about it. But as a joke, I rocketed out of bed and I went over to Jarek's door and I banged on his door. I was like, bro, we're going viral on TikTok. Like, our TikTok has blown up.
Freak out.
You're like, what? Really?
Come out.
It comes out, we check it. It's like 400 or 500 views. And it's like, all right, dude, like you're an asshole for making me get up out of bed and look at this
super
TikTok.
Early too.
Yeah, it was like 7 or 8 a.m., which was definitely early for us, but
still early for me.
It was, I mean, it was not a failure. It also wasn't like a major success, but it was enough to be like, let's do it. Let's do another one.
I do remember it being very discouraging. I'm not gonna lie, because seeing like Holly blowing up so much, and then we post art, which was I thought that was a great video. It sounded good, looked good. We were all smiling and happy, and got comments. But to see it not blow up, I was like, Bryce, you're wrong.
Yeah, right.
TikTok is ass.
TikTok's sus. I know it.
But then what happened? What happened?
Well, okay, so similar concept the second day, right? Except for strategy wise, Jarek took it to the next level. So another trending song at the time was "Boys" by Lizzo.
Like big boys, itty bitty boys. Any city boys, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was also tied to a trend. And I can't remember if the first song was, but for sure, Boys was tied to a trend where boys were making, this was still cringy, like musically content too, which is so incredible. But boys were using that sound and dressing up as the different type of boys that she was listening to the song. And Jarek's like, yo, this is something that's trending right now, but there's no version for the girls. Like girls can't dress up and do the different versions, you know, like the different kind of girls that Lizzo was talking about, boys that Lizzo was talking about. So Jarek remixed it, came up with a version, essentially just replacing the word boys with girls and like changing a couple other words.
I like big girls, itty bitty girls.
Just solo videoed it, recorded everything, posted on TikTok, went to bed. Same thing. It was late at night.
I wasn't expecting anything, but I did have a feeling. I remember being like, oh, this could be such an opportunity for people to like do the other side of this trend.
The confidence was in the idea.
Yeah.
There was way more confidence in what we had done the day before and that day of this is a solid idea of people will use this sound and like it'll get engagement and stuff like that. So next day, same thing. I wake up before Jarek. I go on TikTok to check the post. 700,000 views.
Which is astronomical at that time.
30,000 followers
That's crazy.
Overnight.
In like 5 hours.
Yeah. And I'm refreshing the page and it's like your TikTok notification 99. Refresh again.
99.
Clears it.
99.
Refresh again. 99. You know, just keeps going. Then I legitimately freaked out. I ran to his door and I was banging on his door. I was like, Jarek, we've legitimately gone viral this time. Like this is literally insane. I can't explain the excitement. That was probably top 3 moments of my entire life. That feeling. Because that moment right there has justified like a decade of trying and building skills, wanting to be an influencer, wanting to do music. And I knew from that moment, that was it. That was the moment we hit. You know, for both of us, that was the defining moment.
Crazy, dude. Oh my God.
The video went on to do like 20 million views. From that, I don't know how many followers we got. It put us well over 100,000. I think
it was like probably around 30K a day.
Yeah.
It was insane.
I can't remember where we capped out on, but that was the catalyst.
Well,
where
dude,
every video after that, 1 million views.
It was, we got very, very like intentional fans from that. And I remember feeling like absolute shit from it because I was so scared. You want to talk about like the comments we were getting?
Yeah. No, I think that was definitely big. There's a major psychological component when you first go viral because it doesn't happen. It's not a normal thing for millions of people to see you online, right? Like every day people don't go on their social media and they have, 10,000 new comments or they're not being seen by millions of people every single day. So for both of us, this was our first major viral moment. I previously in the past had experience with like hate shit because I used to live stream on a site called YouNow. Shout out if anyone remembers or knows what YouNow is. But I would get people I would stream for 2 or 3 hours at a time and I would get people that would come and shit on me. So, and it hurt. That shit got to me when I was doing it on YouNow. But I did it for a year straight and I got super calloused from all of the hate. So
I did not.
I for sure had a little bit of insecurity going into the small town Hollywood thing, but I had that experience of, all right, fuck it. Like this isn't, that was the moment. So I was like, I don't give a fuck what anyone says after it. But you were the one in the video.
Oh, bro.
And so none of the hate was technically directed at me. So it's hard for me to really empathize with what you were going through directly because there was no comments about me in the video. But for you, that was the first time you went viral. Like talk about that. How did you navigate that situation? Like I tried to be there for you, but
yeah, this is your interview time, but I'll just go real quick. I felt like ass, bro. I want to delete it. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I remember being like, Bryce, I can't do this. It's making me like, I have horrible anxiety. All I want to do is read it. And there's like a ton. There were like tens of thousands of like good, like happy, super nice, super sweet comments. The only thing my eyes saw were like the shit hater posts. And I remember going to you and being like, hey, I want to delete this. And you're like, no, we can't. We cannot. This is engagement. Hell, we need more hate, to be honest. We need more like people like splitting the room. And that's exactly what happened. There was like so many people calling me like a misogynist because I switched up the words of a song that was very like woman empowering.
Yeah.
And turned into something that was, I guess, empowering for men. I don't know. I just literally copied exactly what she was saying and turned it into like what a dude would say.
Talk about a double standard
And
on that. Honestly.
Yeah, I know, bro. And I mean, there are so many people. I there's some influencers I can name that are still doing it. I won't, but screw you. This shit got to me. I'm fine now. But it was cool seeing other influencers though, like people like 10 million. I forgot his name, but he started like, he came in, bro, and he's like, what are you guys talking about? Do you listen to the radio, what people are actually like singing about these days, and they're not getting any shit for it? And I like liked that one. I was like, thank you so much. But there's like there's this battle between what misogynism actually is, or misogyny really is, and then there's this huge debate of like, I don't know, the LGBTQ community, because I released it during Pride Month, and I didn't know.
Right.
I had no idea, and there were like girls coming out saying like, I like big girls, itty bitty girls, blah blah blah, and that was videos of like women coming out of the closet, which was probably so hard. And this, I take pride in like giving them the opportunity to like act on a trend. Who knows? Maybe this is their like big chance to like come out to the world in a trend where it's allowing a lot of people to do that. So that, I mean, that part of it, that wasn't even planned. And that was blowing up the video even more. So it's just so many factors going in of like doing this trend. There's so many different trends. Like even like people started drawing like these little anime things of I like big girls and drew like a big girl. I like itty bitty girls, drew a little itty bitty girl, and just all the way through. It was crazy. But thank you so much for not deleting that. I think there's a point where you logged out of TikTok on my phone, so I couldn't read it.
Yeah.
And you just went through and I don't know if you deleted any. I don't think you did. But
I might have deleted some comments. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever deleted comments about me because I don't really care. I'm definitely callous to that at this point. But yeah, I just wanted to, I could see how much it was getting to you just even physically, like your anxiety physically. I was like,
sucked.
Shit. I mean, it was good that we got a taste of that almost immediately of being on TikTok and being on social media, because that shit never goes away. You get hate the entirety of your career being an influencer. So it's something that you got to figure out how to deal with. But yeah. So the video got 100,000 audio uses. Yeah. Which is insane. Even now, like that's a viral sound. But at the time,
would you say that this video is what made you take TikTok like way more serious?
Oh, 100%. Like that was the most.
Because I think we were both kind of like, oh, there's opportunity here, but like we didn't know to what extent like this like made careers for us.
Right. Our idea too with TikTok wasn't to blow up on TikTok. It was just to use it to grow our other socials. Like we were still thinking about doing, and we still did actually, a couple covers on YouTube. So we were using it just to grow our YouTube and our Instagram because that's what was popping at the time. But I guess I would have never guessed that TikTok would become as big as it is now. Mm-hmm. But it was definitely, that post was for sure the catalyst of, and the 100,000 audio uses of that video.
Wild. Yeah. Speaking of that, what other videos did we make right after that kept blowing up? Because that wasn't like that. I mean, that was big, but that's not what Small Town Hollywood was known for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was like
technically turning point, but it wasn't the most viral thing that we did.
That honestly was kind of a one of a kind video.
I still haven't seen anything.
I don't know if conceptually, have you done any other remixes like that?
Yeah, little ones, but nothing like, because that played off of a perfect trend, right, that's what where I'm saying. I could mirror.
Was there any other trend, like a video? I don't know if there's been another something like that.
Maybe 2-second song. That's probably the closest thing to it.
Yeah, but that was just a genius. Being able to identify the opportunity and then executing on it.
Bro, yeah, thanks. I get those, yeah.
For real though. I mean,
I appreciate it, dude.
That was the catalyst for literally everything. So that, yeah, I mean, I'll always remember that.
Shit was
that wild. And like celebrating our milestones, like 100K followers, million.
I missed that.
Our first 1 million, our first 1 million followers, first 1 million views. It was on the girls' post, but it was just all of that. It was like a lot of the firsts within a couple months. But after that, we continued to do the covers and focused more so on the trending songs, kind of like the first post that we did. And those would get like anywhere from 500,000 to 1 million views over time. Mm-hmm. And then one day we were just like riffing on new ideas and stuff like that we could do to post. Cause I think the covers were kind of drying up a little bit, or nothing was hitting like the girls post. And yeah, once you get that viral post, you get that itch. You get that itch for,
it's like cocaine.
Yeah, it is cocaine. The dopamine that you get from a viral post.
And
You
then
know,
when
you've
it
gotta-
goes away, bro, oh my God.
You're itching.
It hurts.
And you can't just do the same. It can't just be the same level. It's got to be better. It's got to be more each time. You know, to really feel
that's
that
so
success.
toxic, dude.
It's super
That
toxic.
is such a bad mindset, but there's so many people. Even now, I feel like that's kind of like how I am.
Oh,
But-
influencers now. Yeah, that's just an influencer thing you have to deal with. It's like the cycle of views. But so I don't know.
Yeah,
we
what
were just
other videos?
riffing on ideas, but we came up with the concept of doing a mashup. So instead of just taking one song that was viral on TikTok, why not take 8 of the most viral songs on TikTok, use some sort of common instrumental underneath it, and then mash up the songs over each other. So people could do. We were kind of intentional too about figuring out which songs had trends behind them or dances, stuff like that. So with all the 8 songs together, like you could still do the dance. TikTok, it was just dances pretty much, and other cringy trends. But
I kind of miss it. I really like that.
so we
TikTok.
did that. What was it? Was it the Be Gone Thoughts? Go away.
Hey. Oh, that wasn't the first one though.
Was that not the first mashup?
Holly, remember?
Oh, okay.
That was the
started
one that made
smaller.
me cry when I first heard it.
Yeah, it was before that. We did our first mashup. It was with Holly, who had convinced us to get on TikTok. And it was just 4 songs. We started like each did one part individually, and then we layered, like we'd continuously build up and layer our vocals on top of it. I think it's still up. We'll put it on the screen.
And that kind of like, that's what Small Town Hollywood is like known for. I still do those. And you like, I feel like you were kind of the one that like I would organize or arrange the mashups and bring it to you, and you would do all like your processing and cool shit. And then you did something like that I didn't even think of. You just grabbed all the ones that we were singing and put them over each other because they're already like tuned and like in meter and just like perfect. And you press play and they were all like soloed out, and not even that my piano wasn't even in. And it just sounded so crisp and beautiful that, I mean, it literally made my eyes like all watery because I remember being like, we're good at this. Like, this is something that like it's brand new. I've never heard anyone do. Let's see what happens. Because I feel like most people, like, I still get comments from it. There's too much going on. It's overstimulating. And then some people are like, oh, this makes my brain light up. Oh, I love this kind of mashup. I've never seen this before. We essentially created an entirely new way to do mashups. Because you just literally, I don't know if it was an accident. What was that? Did you just?
I don't know. I think I just put them all on top of. That might have been how I was editing them, or stacked or something like that. But they sonically, it was just
Perfect. Beautiful.
It was just perfect. There's something about it, and honestly, I don't know if we've done another one like that like sonically
When you started
felt
off, yeah.
like that.
Yeah, that one
You know
was
what I'm saying?
beautiful.
There's other mashups that 100% work, but for whatever reason,
that
there's
was
just some
just a
arrangement.
beautiful one.
Yeah,
Whereas like
arrangement.
over just piano, very acoustic. I haven't done one like that. It's just been like the F you and your mom and whatever, like some super high energy, which those do honestly do better. But that one, the first time I heard it, I remember being like, oh my God, this is gorgeous. And that has 130,000 videos made to it.
Yeah, that one popped off as well. It didn't get as many views as the girls. The girls has about like 20 million views, I think. And that one might be at like 10 million. So half the views, but the same amount of audio uses. So I don't even know what people did to that one. But it went viral. I think there was a lot of foreign posts as well.
Yeah, dude. It was literally everything.
I don't know. But yo, I mean, hats off to us for getting 100,000 audio uses on 2 tracks.
That was crazy.
Right
okay,
off the rip. That doesn't happen.
I have another question.
Ask.
Your part was very, very important in Small Town Hollywood, and it was something where I had to, like, when you left, I had to relearn, or just completely learn brand new in general. The like production, the lighting, the like vocal editing. That's all stuff most people don't know and don't have to know. So how did you already like know that, and how to like apply that to Small Town Hollywood?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've always just been, if there's something that needs to be learned or done to achieve a certain goal, I'll just go on YouTube and I'll research it and I'll learn it. So up until that time, I mean, a lot of it was with the live streaming on YouNow a few years earlier. I had to get softbox lighting, like the ones that we're using now. And I had to figure out how to get my vocals into the live stream. But it was all things that I had to teach myself and learn. There was no blueprint or anyone coaching or teaching me how to do these things.
The studio.
The studio, was the biggest asset for vocal production. I could have never, I tried to learn Logic on my own, the DAW for just producing and recording. They were legitimate, like Grammy winning producers. So they were doing everything professionally. And I actually worked on some of the tracks that they put out, which was a super cool experience. But I learned how to do all the vocal production from that studio. So that was kind of my strengths coming into Small Town Hollywood. I had that studio experience, but then everything else I just taught myself. Like we ended up releasing merch and having a website, and like it took, dude, that sucked to figure out. I remember us beefing about that too, like trying to get the merch out and done.
That was the first fight we ever had.
Yeah,
it wasn't even that much of a fight.
That was just it was stressful because you were doing school and focusing on your stuff, and I think I had just started working a separate job at that time, but figuring out how to like build a website from scratch and then release merch, do e-commerce. That was all stuff that I had no idea what I was doing. And I just looked at YouTube videos and figured it out, and we launched it and like had a merch site. But everything, for anyone that wants to do, like has a goal in mind or wants to do anything, a lot of it you can learn on YouTube. Don't wait for someone to tell you can do it or to teach you. Take it into your own hands. Go learn it. There's resources out there. I feel like there's not a lot that can hold you back from learning something, or like if you have a goal, achieving it. There's just so much information online nowadays.
Oh, for sure.
And that's always kind of been my mentality. And even after Small Town Hollywood, like I've continuously had that mentality, like learning more about videography and photography in the recent years, something that I'm super curious about. But yeah, I mean, that's always been my mentality, approaching new things that I want to learn. But it worked.
It was hyper successful, bro.
Yeah.
You as an influencer, before you left, you were very, very, very successful. What was your experience looking back as being an influencer? Like, did you like it? Why did you stop?
That's a great question, because it's not what I thought it would be. A lot of what I thought influencing, I mean, a lot of the reason I wanted to be an influencer was pretty superficial. I wanted to do it for the views,
same,
for the followers. Yeah. And once we had that, it's like, okay, great, we're here. And we, I've achieved something, but I think the funnest part was just the come up. The funnest part was
I remember you saying that. It's like, we're going to remember these days for the rest of our lives. Nothing is going to compare.
It was the building part of it. And once we had kind of gotten there and we were trying to figure out our next directions, like where we wanted to take and stuff like that, there was just an element. I mean, it definitely got like super serious on where we wanted to take it. I think we had different directions on where we wanted to go, but initially we were on the same page. Like I wanted to do music and I wanted to be an influencer, but going into Small Town Hollywood, I was kind of already maturing out of the superficial wants for influencing and for music, like the girls, the fame, the recognition and success online, stuff like that. Like that was already kind of a fleeting aspiration. And it was just validated when we had it that it wasn't super fulfilling still. And I didn't realize it until, probably this past year, but I really do enjoy that building aspect of, life, like building Small Town Hollywood. And I worked at a company after that. That was a startup, like helping build and create that company. And then, after leaving that job, like figuring out what's the next step, how can I start from nothing and like build something? And then this podcast, like I'm super excited about.
Bro, I'm so excited.
All of this. We've spent 3 days now separately meeting, figuring out production, lighting, scripting out the pod, figuring out logo, like all this stuff, even just learning like how to record.
Bro, it kind of feels like the early days of Small Town Hollywood.
It is. So I'm super excited.
Yeah.
About starting something new again. And I think, I'll always be like that. But yeah, influencing just wasn't, I don't know if I necessarily have that urge to like want to be on camera for music, or if I'm an influencer, I don't know what my voice is or what my niche is, because music wasn't fulfilling. I didn't want to perform. I didn't want to put out my own music. And I learned that after we had done Small Town Hollywood for like 6-7 months. I was like, I have no urge to put out music. And Jarek, you really wanted to put out the music and do the music. And it's just like, if I don't have that mentality, then there's no reason for me to be doing this, unless Small Town Hollywood goes in a completely different direction, but it just wouldn't have made sense.
Yeah. That was I remember that. I remember seeing that first and foremost and then hearing it, but like watching you kind of like fall apart from it, like that shit sucked. I remember being like, because I was enjoying it like a ton, but I could kind of tell. I couldn't tell if it was like just your personality. It was like shifting and you like sucked as a person, or if you just like hated like what you were doing. And I think it got to the point where we like, I don't know, it just, what happened? What was the big breakup kind of like moment? I kind of forget. That was such a long time ago.
I mean, being completely transparent, money was a big part of this. You know, we weren't making money 6-7 months in. And for me, that was a year after graduating college. And I had made some money working at the studio. So I had money to burn. And my parents were also supporting me, which, you know, being like 23, 24 out of college and your parents are still supporting you, like that shit's embarrassing, you know? And so I was at the point where I didn't want my parents to give me any more money. And we needed to start making money from it. And we had 1.5 million followers, and we weren't making hardly any money from it. And part of it's the niche that we were in. Like we were doing music and doing covers and stuff like that. So it's not like we were in fashion, could have done fashion.
And this was still new.
And it was still new.
Where like not a lot of people were, unless you were like ginormous Charlie D'Amelio. Like
she wasn't even around.
I think because
she had just gotten big. She had just gotten big, but
because she was crying when we met her at Playlist.
Oh, that's right.
R.I.P. Poor Charlie.
But yeah, money was a big stressor where, you know, I had to figure out something to actually make money. Like real talk. I still did enjoy part of the process of it, but I knew that I didn't want to put out music. So that was going to be some tension between us because you want to do the music thing. And I necessarily didn't want to get on tracks and do original stuff. So what does that look like for a duo if just one person does the music, right? Like I don't think we ever really figured that out or made that like that could have been a possible thing where just you put out music. I don't think it would have made sense. But I also had got connected with a company that did song promotion on TikTok and had been talking with the boss and the CEO for about a month prior to actually getting an offer to go work for the company. But they were paying me. So I started working with them prior to us kind of splitting.
Are you allowed to say their name? No?
Yeah. So I worked for a company called SmallTownHollywood.
Which is like big. It's a giant company.
Yeah. They were a startup when I was first introduced to them. And I think they had like 4 or 5 employees here in Nashville. Just super, super small company capitalizing on TikTok, growing as a platform and promoting music like we had discovered, you know, but they kind of got connected and saw that I knew what was going on with TikTok and how to promote music. And I just started working there like $12 an hour, reaching out to influencers and being like, yo, do you want to promote the song? Just scouting influencers to use for song promotion campaigns. But so then I started working 40 hours a week at that company and still trying to do Small Town Hollywood stuff, but not having any real purpose or reason for doing Small Town Hollywood. So I was exhausted from work. Didn't love the fact that we were starting to work on or like write original music because I just didn't. I for sure get anxiety about performing and stuff like that. Being fully honest, I don't think I have the most consistent voice. So I know if I were to perform,
I feel like you would have been fine.
It was something I would have needed to get past.
Dude, I'm still terrified to perform. I performed like maybe 2 times the entire time I've been.
But that stressed me out where I'm like, I don't want to release music because I don't want to perform. Like I don't want to have to go do all this live stuff and tour and stuff like that. And that's really excited you still. And so, it just came to a point where the superficial stuff that I really want to do influencing for didn't hit. I didn't want to do original music stuff, which is the natural progression of where Small Town Hollywood was going. I didn't have any money and I had a job opportunity, and the not having the money and not being into it, all those things stressed me out and put tension on it. And that I definitely put that on you too. You know, like I took some of it out on you, and there just created like a tension in the group. At the same time too, like we started this in the summer and had a ton of free time, but in the fall you went back to school and like a lot of your time started going to school.
You had a huge, I didn't realize how much your part took until like I had to learn it and like apply it myself. Yeah. And now like tracks, like I build that stuff so fast. And now the money maker is the vocal editing and making sure everything's mixed and sounds like great. So like learning that, I understand it now. Like that was a lot for you, especially getting right off of work. Cause I think our schedule was literally like you get off work at like, I don't know, like late, and then we just work all night. And you're already burnt out from the day, and you're like having to record my shitty voice in a closet. So I'm like,
that wasn't a problem. But like starting to do writing stuff for original songs, I was just like not excited to go do that. But I mean, I also have a toxic work mentality for the company that I was working for. I'm a perfectionist, so I have to do everything perfect. So I would work longer than I realistically had to for the company. I'd be
Bro,
tired.
that sounds like
Be
such
tired
a
as-
meme. What's one of your weaknesses? I'm just too perfect.
Yo,
I'm
no,
too
I'm
good.
I'm a perfectionist. And that's a toxic trait. Like you got to let some
No,
shit
I
go
get
and
that.
not be good at
That's
at
when
things,
it takes
but-
over your like brain.
Yeah, so I'd be exhausted when I go into Small Town Hollywood and wasn't vibing with it. So I don't know what the catalyst was for. I don't remember what our last fight was, but there was like a solid couple weeks where we didn't talk.
Bro, I think a lot of it was like, it just got to the point where like, it was something where it was like Sonic wanted to do a brand deal with us. And then I think you were just also like kind of done at that point. I'm like, bro, we can make it work. We can do this. And I don't know how much it was really small. And it just seemed like you didn't even want to try. And I don't think like.
That's so true, dude. I really didn't. I was at the point where I didn't want to try.
And I remember getting like angry and you like, I think you talked about money.
Yeah.
And this at the time, I think I just got done with school and my parents were like helping me out as well. And I had that part-time job, the concierge,
Right.
which sucked, Lord, in my little suit. But you're like, dude, I get that money is hard. And I wasn't even thinking about money. It was just like the dream kind of thing. And that was when I was like, okay, like, I don't think this is it wasn't that like, you're not all in it. It was just like, you want it as bad as me. And that's why I was like, let's just break up Small Town Hollywood. And we were broken up for like a month. Yeah. All the brand deals coming in. And we were both watching it because we had the shared.
That was sad too, because we had just gotten into the beta. Well, probably months earlier, we got into the beta program for TikTok. But when I left, it was right when the brand money started coming in too.
Kind of.
It was like Fender came in and then like a month.
Really?
We dropped the ball on Fender. That would have been huge.
Dude.
But then right after that, what was the first one that you got?
Well, so there's the ones that you were seeing were from that marketplace.
Yeah.
And I've never done a brand deal through marketplace. Not a single one.
What are the deals you got through TikTok?
Brands are literally just reaching out like crazy. And then whichever like the lowest amount of money they can get is the one they go with. The ones that the first one came, it was like I think it was 3 months later after you left. Because we had the month where we like broke up.
Yeah.
Then we had the
month
month
where we
didn't
post either. Just so you guys know, that was rough and we had taken a break in December, so that wasn't good.
And our rep too is calling both of us. And he was like, it was for a huge deal too. It's for Tyga and that Board in the House guy. We were supposed to open up for their online concert, which was when you go on the app, it's the first thing you see. And our faces were going to be on it. So he left voicemails. He was calling us. He called you, called me. And then he left this huge text. He was like, at this point, I've tried to reach you guys 3-4 times. You need to call me right now. This is a big opportunity. We just ignored him.
We didn't give a shit. Like we were beefing to the point where it's like, I don't care what happens at all.
Yeah. Bro, that shit was so dumb.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But
it was right. Yeah, it's so funny. Honestly, it was like it was right on the verge of like where shit was about to work. But I mean, I don't have that. I don't have the.
And then the Young Gravy thing and Dylan Francis.
Yeah,
there is some good stuff. No money still. It's just like TikTok trying to figure out how to connect people. Then COVID hit. Dude, that was the biggest hit for Small Town Hollywood. That's when engagement went from like peak, like we were owning TikTok, the most views that people pretty much got, to like just drop down. Like I think us breaking up at that point was like the worst, especially for me trying to get back into it and learning all your shit.
Yeah. I mean, so that's kind of a long way of saying we broke up.
Yeah, we broke up.
And it was just, we had to set a phone call where I was just like, take everything.
Well, it was kind of, that
like
was.
You can have 100% of, because before we were like 50-50 split, I was just like, yo, like run with this.
I remember you being like, I want like some money just for what I've done. But I was like, I don't have any money.
Right.
Plus,
I wanted equity.
We were in the red, dude. We lost more money than we made money. So I was just like, this sucks.
Yeah.
I was basically like, I don't know. It might have been like abrasive, but I remember being like, it's either like I have 100% of it, or Small Town Hollywood, it's nothing.
And that's essentially where I was like, all right,
like fuck this.
I can be well, no, I was like, I can be an asshole and retain equity, but I don't think you're going to do it if I do that, you know? Yeah. And also from a friend standpoint, it's like, dude, I want to see you succeed. I want to see you win. And you have the drive and the passion for music. Like, as hard as it is to like give up something you built, like give up the entirety of something you built, I was just like, fuck it, dude. Like friendship, first and foremost, like our friendship's going to come first. Like, and also I just want to support you and your dream. Like take this and make something of it now.
Dude, yeah.
And take something and do something with it.
I didn't even realize that was your mindset on it until like even recently, like 7 months down the road. And like that shit, like kind of like broke my heart a little bit because I was just like, there's pretty much the entire time I was like, man, I wish Bryce was still doing this with me. Because it sucks going from like sharing experiences and sharing celebrations to doing it by yourself.
Yo,
nobody else cares what you do about your celebration. They'll be like, oh, awesome, cool, great, you got another 30 million view video. And I've had management where you can kind of celebrate with them, but it's more for the money than for the passion. And dude, I have not felt like a celebration of a video since like you were in Small Town Hollywood.
Yo, I mean, and those are core memories.
I know,
me.
dude.
Yeah, like
nothing is not, bro. You might be like, oh, I'm missing out. No, it's like there's finally money now, which took me so long to be able to like monetize, but like it doesn't. Each video does not hit the same because I remember going out and partying and like having fun and like celebrating 1 million views or like 2 million or 1.5 million followers, blah blah blah. Now, bro, I hit, like we said at the beginning of the podcast, I hit 2 million, nothing.
Right.
Literally, I think
sucks.
The manager I had at the time was like, oh, good job. I remember being like, shit, let me call my mom. She actually cares about me.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, that was rough, dude.
Yeah. So, I mean, we split. And also, it was right at the time. So, I started working at that company, SmallTownHollywood, and so I guess if you count working there as like a promotion, it's like you get the job, so you're making a certain level of income.
Mm-hmm.
A couple months into it, I got a promotion, and then a month later, I got another promotion, and that's when I was like, "Peace, I'm out of Small Town Hollywood because I'm making a bag here at SmallTownHollywood."
Cool.
You know, and so for me, I was like, "All right, that's cool." Like I found a job. I got a job from doing TikTok. You know, that's a cool exit. At least I wasn't quitting and doing nothing out of it. That would have sucked. That would have been a hard reality to swallow.
Yeah, that was my next question. It was like, how did you feel after like having to go from like something where you're very exposed to a lot of people? Like, what did you do after Small Town Hollywood? Like, you went to Songfluencer, and from there, like, because I was very behind the scenes, and you had fans, bro. You had people that want to know where you were.
That's funny because we never talked about it.
Which I still we are right now.
Here's the
year and a half, 2 years later.
I think not talking about it was definitely the right play, but yeah, it was still cool because I was working in a space and in the influencer industry, like the music industry and the influencer industry, which made sense because, you know, I have experience in the music industry, and then we just blew up on TikTok and all this knowledge and stuff like that. So it was super cool to go work a job then that directly applied what I had been doing with Small Town Hollywood. So the transition, I mean, it was like stop one thing, start another thing completely. Again, with the workaholic mindset, there's really no buffer in between the two. And yeah, I worked at that company for about a year. It was fun. I got to work with a bunch of the top labels in the country, work with some of my dream artists, like help promote their music on TikTok. What a fun transition for me. I don't know. It was cool. It was cool because I really do enjoy the business side and the building side of things. And I think the Small Town Hollywood experience really triggered that building mentality and like building enjoyment. And so I was kind of just in a new rush of, all right, I'm helping build this startup.
Yeah.
And just taking that on and kind of getting more experience in the corporate world, I guess. It was a startup, so would not be corporate, but you know, having clients, like checking your emails and shit like that, like having conference calls. It was it's very 9 to 5 oriented versus what we were doing. So that was a great experience because I definitely built a ton of communication skills, which I lack heavily. So, and just being able to like understand how I function in high stress environments, learn more about myself is, you know, like the perfectionistic tendency, which definitely destroyed me in that job. But yeah, I mean, I continued to do that. And then I decided to leave that because I worked myself to death for the company. Definitely not a healthy ending. And after that, just took a couple months off and kind of dove back into helping influencers, you know, just reaching out to friends that were doing social media still, continuing to learn in the space. Like I started creating content pages in different niches just to learn the platform, just to learn like what YouTube Shorts is like and what Instagram Reels is like and what TikTok is like now in 2021, 2022. And just continue to kind of do some freelance stuff and figure out what the next project and build was. So I ended up working with one of my other best friends on her social media for a couple months, and I almost moved out to LA, like literally last month.
Drop the name.
Nah, I mean, I'll keep it. We'll definitely interview at some point, but that situation didn't work out
cool.
either.
She's super dope.
Yeah, she's still my best friend. So that was kind of like my next project. It was like the next build, and that didn't really pan out, didn't work out. Like didn't end up moving to LA, and now I'm present 2022. Like here's the next build, baby. Broken Famous.
Broken Famous. Come on, everything you're touching.
Back into the duo.
Bro, yeah, that was my next question.
Successes together again.
Bro, yeah. You keep answering my next question. My question was, and to kind of wrap this all up too, and I mean, I can do my point of it, but like now that you've had success as an influencer, you've had successes like in a corporate, like the corporate realm as well. Like, I mean, because that was a small company, and now it's big, it's racking in money. Where to from here? Where do you want to go?
Yeah.
What is the short-term goal, long-term goal?
Yeah, I mean, short-term goal, blow up this podcast. This is the next thing. This is the next thing I'm focusing on. Like, I'm really hoping to blow this thing up. I'd love to monetize it so I can survive off this podcast. But
you and me both, bro.
Yeah. But long-term mindset, I mean, just still growing in the influencer space, understanding social media. I'd love to, at some point, take on some more influencer clients, whether I'm kind of like an agent for them or a manager. I'm not quite sure what role I really fit in, but I'm super into the strategy of social media, the business side of things.
You're good at that shit. You were an influencer and you worked with more influencers to blow them up and to blow. Like, I'm the perfect example. You helped me blow up and you've helped all these other people.
Yeah. So continue to figure out what that looks like. I haven't really figured out how to monetize that as a career. You know, this whole past year has kind of been figuring out that lane. And like for a minute, I thought I was going to move to LA and do that. And that it was kind of working, but now we're back doing this podcast. So I love long-term to really figure out what it'd be like to have my own business, you know, doing consultation, working with influencers, and just seeing where that goes. But I really do have a lot of faith in the podcast.
Me too.
And I have some big goals for the pod. I'd love to, I mean, getting it monetized would be huge, but creating like a pod network, bringing up other influencers, like helping influencers start pods. I don't know. Again, the building mindset, never done a pod. Dude, so I want to figure it out, master it, and then help people do it.
So much farther than I feel like half the people that try to start a podcast. Like the guy, when we got these mics, like bought them, like, all right, see you in 2 weeks when we give up to return our SM7Bs.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to make it past episode number 7 or 8, whatever the threshold is for podcasts that don't last.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we better, dude. I feel like we dropped some money into this. Now that's the reason why we're doing it. Like, I think this is a lot for like kind of helping people understand like what's the like not talked about in this industry, because this industry is very coveted, very hard to get into, and even harder to like make full time. And there's so many people that say they're full time that aren't, which kind of sucks because it makes it look like being an influencer is really easy when it's not. So this is like, we need to make it a point that on this podcast that we're fully transparent and we're giving you the details of like what you actually need to like monetize and to keep yourself from being broke and famous, because so many people are like broke and have all of these followers because they don't know what to do. They don't know how to like monetize, don't know how to like get brand deals, don't know how to like, I don't know, get on Reels bonus or YouTube Shorts or any of that kind of stuff.
Probably don't even know about some of this stuff too.
I know,
dude. We kind of got the insider information on a lot of this stuff. So,
and I feel like these companies also don't want you talking about it. Like most brand deals don't want like these kids to know what their rates are, because they want to get like a video that should be worth like 3K, 4K for $100. So
I mean, that's what we want to help you guys do.
Perfect outlet right here.
I think we could wrap it up.
Yeah.
Feels good.
What do we say to wrap up a podcast?
I have no idea what our wrap up's going to be. Thank you so much, SmallTown Hollywood, for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Bryce ProtoJ, Bryce
like
ProtoJ, for joining us today.
Still working on the branding on that. But yeah, guys, this is episode 1. We're super excited. Everything we're going to bring you guys in the future with different guests that we want to have on,
got some cool people that want to be on the podcast, and it's going to be cool to see their insight on like how they monetize and what they're up to. People that you know and that you've seen, because this is a podcast by influencers for influencers. Oh man, what a tagline.
I don't know how to wrap this up. So we'll just cut it.
All right, we love you guys so much. Here's the end roll.